It's all good, the world we live in. It's all good, even if we forget. I'll stand strong with you beside me. Keep on trying, you and I. It's all good. People are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. We'll work it out together. It's our world. We'll build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I. It's all good. It's all good when we're together. It's all good. Two's better than one. We'll stand strong through stormy weather. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. People are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. We'll work it out together. It's our world. Build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. Ready? People are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. We'll work it out together. It's our world. Build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. Oh, people are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. Yeah, we'll work it out together. It's our world. Build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. Yeah. It's all good, the world we live in. It's all good, even if we forget. I'll stand strong with you beside me. Keep on trying, you and I. It's all good. People are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. We'll work it out together. It's our world. We'll build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I. It's all good. It's all good when we're together. It's all good. Two's better than one. We'll stand strong through stormy weather. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. People are good. Two is better than one. Change is good. We'll work it out together. It's our world. Build our dreams together. Keep on trying, you and I, 'cause it's all good. Ready?
Good morning, dear ones. My name's Reverend Robert Brzezinski, and I am often sitting in the back office, punching the buttons, moving things around, and trying to make sure that you have a great experience of your Sunday morning. And we're doing things a little bit differently here today. So I wanted to check in and let you know what's going to happen. Today, we're having a question and answer with Reverend Elzia and many of our practitioners, licensed practitioners. So we encourage you to comment. Send your questions or comments in the comment box, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Please interact with us today. Let us know what's going on and what you'd like a little bit more of. In the meantime, we're again changing things up a bit. So we're going to do a little bit of announcements, some music. We'll hear from a practitioner and then get into our program. Enjoy.
And now for some announcements. We will continue to meet online through September and will keep you updated as future developments and information is available. You're also invited to participate in our Zoom virtual fellowship right after the service. If you'd like to join us, just send an email with the subject fellowship to info@csldenver.org and someone will send you a link while we enjoy the service. Upcoming workshops and classes. September 13th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. right after service, professional practitioner Alice Nutter will be facilitating a class called Living in Grace. This will be facilitated via Zoom and the cost is a love offering. It's about creating a spiritual biography and its importance in creating the life you desire. Starting Wednesday evenings on September 16th for 4 weeks, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Reverend Elzia will be facilitating the Module 3, Keys to the Spiritual Path, in the Keys to Consciousness series. This will also be on Zoom and is also offered on a love offering basis. And then on Sunday, October 4th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., right after service, we'll be hosting a virtual healing trauma workshop facilitated by Haley Korf. In this time of sheltering in place and political unrest, people may be experiencing feelings of trauma. This workshop will identify different types of trauma, how trauma affects us, as well as learning useful skills for coping with stress and trauma. This class will also be on Zoom and the cost is a love offering. If you're interested in any of these classes or workshops, please send an email to info@csldenver.org. Let us know which class or event you're interested in, and we'll make sure you receive the proper Zoom invitation. We'd love to support you however we can. Also, we're updating our website and would love to have a picture of you and what you've been up to during this time of staying in place. With and without masks, whatever you've been up to, if you have one or some you'd like to share with us, please send them to Alice and info@csldenver.org. That's attention Alice to info@csldenver.org. And now, back to our service and some more music.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face, you are the face of love. I hold you in my heart, you are my family, you are my family. You are the face, you are the face of love. You are the face of love, the face of love. I hold you in my heart, you are my family, you are my family. You are the face of love, the face of love. You are the face of God, the face of God. I hold you in my heart, you are a part of me, You are the face of God, the face of God. You are the face of God.
Eres la luz de Dios.
I hold you in my heart.
Eres la cara del amor.
You are a part of me. You are the face of God. 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 La luce di Dio. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. La luz de Dios. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the
Good morning. It's time for our invocation. So to all of you faces of God, if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and move into that space
It's time for our
of
invocation.
quietness
So
and peacefulness and owning all that is yours and is spiritual in nature. So we center on that space that is between every star in the sky and every grain of sand on the beach and everything in between. Everything is connected. Spirit unites everyone and everything. And whether you're sitting in a church or in a mosque or in a temple, we just know that we are all focusing on that spiritual nature of God and know that we are blanketed by that conscious awareness and that it is integrating meaning and purpose in everything in our lives. So we bless our time together and we move into this contemplation and question and answer and let wisdom of spirit move through us and be us as we move into the place of knowing that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as we navigate through this time and navigate through the conditions of our lives, we know that we are united, that we are connected in our mind's eye with our hands and our hearts and our spirits. And so it is.
It's a family. Family. We are one family. Family. We are one family. Family. We are one family. Family. We are one.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We have our panel of spiritual beings ready and willing to answer your questions this morning. Elzia Zeku, Alice Nutter, and Rumi Engineer, and I may pipe in from time to time too. So we like to do this every once in a while just to feel like we're all connected and to answer any spiritual questions or any other questions about the center that you would like to have the answers to. So we're going to move right into some questions. And the first question we have is, just one moment. What can I do in this time with transitions happening to feel centered in a spiritual way?
Okay, I'll take that one. Once again, good morning, everyone, and I'm so overjoyed and filled with spirit this morning. And I think in these times, the easiest way I've found to move beyond the circumstances of all the goings on is to always remember that we are in progress, that life itself is not fixed. It is an ebb and flow, and it allows us, when we embrace it, to move through the challenges and changes that we are facing at any time, not just now, but at any time. And so I would encourage everyone, and I remind myself daily to focus on what we want and not what we don't want. Now that may sound simple and trite, but I'm sure if some of you or all of you would look in the recesses of your mind, if you will, you will find that in those situations where you did not focus, not ignore, but not focus on the troubling issues, you were able to muster enough faith and courage to move through it. And then when you look back, you say, wow, I made it.
Want to add anything to that?
No, I'm good with it's, about staying in the moment as much as we can and just moving forward with that, just one step at a time.
Okay, the next question that is popping up on the chat is, why am I here? What is the meaning of life?
Yes, that is the monumental question. Why am I here? And quite simply, I think the easiest way to answer that is we're all here to serve God and humanity, to exhibit that oneness, that connectedness of everything. And like always, it is sometimes not comfortable. I mean, you just think about your family. Freddie had the song about family. Sometimes as families, we don't always see eye to eye, and it could be a challenge sometimes to resolve issues or to work through things. But at the end of the day, I think once we realize that, yes, we are family and we're not all the same and we're not looking at everything from the same perspective, we're able to tap into that why we're here, and that is to keep a harmonic balance and a progression of life that supports all life.
Okay, anyone want to add anything?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. All right. How, the
We
next
need to
question
unmute
is,
Rumi. There. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
I said we needed to unmute Rumi.
Oh, the next question is, what is the science of mind perspective of what's going on?
Well, I think for me, in understanding this is there was a speaker that my friend Suzanne had told me about. She's a resilience teacher. And one of her points of being the 3 secrets to being a resilient person is just staying in the moment and knowing absolutely that stuff happens to everyone. I mean, it just, and we can either be a victim and say, why me? Or we can say, okay, this happened. And so now how do I deal with it? And, there's been a lot of sayings on the internet about, when you're done with this life and you meet your maker is, it's not what you did, it's how you did it, how you dealt with the issues that happened in your life. That is more important than the amount of money you made or all of the stuff you did. It's just, how did I live my life? In what capacity?
Okay.
And I think, there's an old wisdom tale, if you will, that goes, adversity is that thing that introduces us to ourselves. And so,
Wow.
it's in these times of adversity where we really have to dig deep and go within and look at how to navigate, if you will, these adversities, and inevitably there will be growth. Now, it may not be as joyous or as painless as we would like it to be, but we know through experience, when we reflect on our lives and the lives of others, we know that through these hard times, if we can just maintain the vision, we can get through it. We just have to have a commitment that that pushes us or compels us to keep moving in the process of life.
Okay. Okay. Our next question. What can I do to help make a positive difference if I don't have money to give or to spare?
Can I answer that?
Sure.
Money is not the only thing that brings help to people. None of us have so much money that we can help everybody. Those we can, we do. But there's a lot of things, I think, and one of the most important things in this time that we are living through is kindness. If we can be kind to someone, just a smile, sometimes a nice word, a kind word, I think is a lot of you're contributing. You're contributing to the to this process that we are going through, because we don't know what that person might need. It may not just be money, but it may be some understanding, a feeling of love. And I think that is just as important as giving money. And it doesn't matter whom you're giving it to, whether they deserve it or not. We can't be handing out dollar bills, say, to every homeless person that we meet who stands on the corner. But even sending a good thought to that person, blessing them, I think goes a long way in making a difference.
That's beautifully answered, Rumi. These are certainly 3 wise beings we have with us this morning. I have another difficult question. What do I do when I've lost my job because of COVID-19?
Yeah, that's always a challenge, whether we're in COVID-19 or not. And I can speak from a little experience, because just about a year ago or so, I lost my job that I had for over 12 years or so. close to 12 years, and with 2 children in college, and all the goings ons of maintaining a household, it was a scary moment. Just be honest about that. But I think one thing that helped me get through was the fact that, well, a couple of things. And I guess the first one is to keep faith. I had to keep faith in myself, in my skills, in my ability, and most of all in God, that I had a skill and a value set that was needed somewhere. Now, I had to do my part to maintain my mental acuity, if you will, and not get down on myself, or not get down on myself, I guess better to say, and stay down on myself, because we have so much invested in our livelihood with who we are, which creates all kind of, disruptions. But once I could work through that, and once you can work through that, and you get this understanding that, hey, I have skills, I have abilities, I have talents, and with the right set it mind and a faith in God, we can move through it. And then the second thing that's practical is you begin to reach out to friends. You begin to be more diligent about looking at the want ads, or working with a employment service or a temp agency, because we know that through the law of circulation, once we begin a process, things like that begin to show up for us. So as we begin to embrace that idea and that process of finding a new job, or finding some employment or some resources, the universe responds in kind, and we begin to get back what we put out.
Go ahead, Alice.
Another thing to keep in mind is that we have prayer practitioners, and when you're in the middle of the practical things of looking for a job, it also helps to find, to talk with, to meet with your spiritual mentor, whether it's a peer, or even the minister, or somebody who can hold that truth for you, and knowing, because a lot of times we get into that, oh gosh, I can't, that scared, what, and looking in the future, projecting into the future, possible horrible things that can happen. And by trying to take our time and spend in the moment, try to stay as much in the moment, and like Elzia said, just take a step at a time. You can eat an elephant one bite at a time. Mm-hmm. And so it's just that one step, and knowing somebody is doing their prayer work for you, holding the truth, and knowing the right and perfect job will come along. And it will probably, hopefully, will be a lot better than the last one that you had.
Yeah.
Rumi.
Well, as they say, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it. And you said that a little earlier. So I think if we don't view the loss of a job as a catastrophe, but rather as an opportunity to move on and see how much that there is something even better out there. And it's not just hoping for, but then taking action and saying, well, what else can one do? I think that's important. And it's not just a job. I know that when I retired from practicing law, it was very scary. It was like, how am I going to maintain my house? How am I going to pay the mortgage? What am I going to do? I don't have an income coming in now. But, I've been very happy since I retired, because something better came along. It got me moving into doing something else that I, in the beginning, kept thinking, well, this is not it. This is not what I want. And one of them was just selling my house so that I didn't have that heavy mortgage.
Yes.
And but it took me a few years to even realize that, okay, that's an option. And what's going to happen if I lose it? If I sell the house, I'll be in a better place anyway. So I think we need to move beyond that catastrophic thinking into what is this an opportunity for me to do?
Okay, we have a question coming through, is if we are ever going to meet again in person. And I know before the program this morning, we had a conversation about that. So does anybody want to share what we have been talking about?
Well, we Harry Chance had mentioned that to us in a previous email and said, you know, I'm missing the contact, or just missing everybody and all that. And so we talked about, we would like to say maybe mid to not all the way late September. They're saying we're supposed to have a really snowy year this year, but we want to find a park that we can do like a Sunday evening picnic and viewing the sunset. So look for more information in the very near future about the place we found, and you know, just bringing your own food and just getting to share and say hi and see each other's faces with masks, hopefully.
Okay, oh, wise ones, we are rounding the corner to the finish line here, and I just wanted to ask if there's any concluding thoughts that you would like to share.
Elzia, do you want to go?
Well, you know, I actually went and found the poem, and I don't want to do it now because it might shut everything down. So it's a pretty powerful poem, I think, that sets the stage. So I'll wait back, and if no one else has anything, I'll go ahead and read it. But I'll yield for a moment.
Well, one thing I wanted to say, we were talking about that resilience teacher that I was speaking about, and she, her name is Lucy Hone, Hone, and you can search for her on YouTube, and she does this very powerful TED Talk on, you know, her personal experience with learning to be resilient. And one of the 3 secrets for her was asking yourself the question, is this helping me or is this harming me? So when you're getting into the monkey mind, or when you're doing things that maybe are make you feel worse, just asking yourself, and again, that brings you to the moment. Is this helping me or is this harming me? So if this is harming me, what can I do to help myself to feel better?
Beautiful. Remy, anything further?
No, I was just, there's a quote from Ernest Holmes, which says, the soul, being the seat of memory, already contains a record of everything that has ever happened to us. The sum total of all erroneous human belief binds until the individual mentally lifts himself above the law of averages into the higher law of spiritual individualism, pardon me. What I need to say is, you see, very often we are caught in this, in our humanness. And as Alice maintained, what we have in this center is we have the resources for people to help people rise above that human condition and think in a, for want of a better word, a loftier frame of mind, you see. And so I would urge people that, and I know what it feels like, even for us practitioners, we feel sometimes overwhelmed by what is happening around us. And we reach out to each other. And so there is no harm in people. It's not like people used to believe that going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist meant that you were mentally ill. Sometimes you went one just to work things out. And so, you know, speaking to your practitioner, or sometimes even to a friend, just a friend, and saying, this is how I feel. That person is objective and not feeling the same things that you are. So I think we need to all utilize the resources that we have, whatever they may be.
Yeah, and I would just add that it is very important to reach out. It's easy to get stuck in and feel consumed in our situation, but a lot of times we can't see the situation clearly when we're bound up in our emotions. So yes, Science of Mind teaches that spirit provides, but it also teaches that we must move, we must take a step. And it doesn't mean that we have to take a step knowing what the end result is going to be. We just have to take a step. And as like Alice said, that we do it in a way that is helpful to ourselves. And also, as Rumi said, in a way that is kind to ourselves and kind to others. So,
and you can find practitioners' names and phone numbers on our website, www.csldenver.org. And
one of the really good things we're good at is brainstorming with you to come up with answers or a different avenue to take. And we love to do that. We love to pray with you. We know that spirit works, and it works in divine and mysterious ways. Yeah. So Elzia, we'll close with you.
Yes. Well, I appreciate every one of you and the wisdom and experience that we have to share. And I trust and know that it has hit the right spot for anyone who's seeking any kind of guidance or understanding in this trying times. And I think, as you just said, Teresa, the idea that we live in a participatory world where it's a give and take. We have to give something for something to come back, and cause and effect are not always closely related. So sometimes we put things out and we think, well, nothing happened to that, but it is working always in the background. And without any long soliloquy or anything like that, I want to read this poem or this statement called The Optimist Creed by Christian D. Larson. And some of you may know who Christian D. Larson is. He's a poet, he's a writer, he's a New Thought pioneer. And he has this eloquently, I think, stated called the Optimist Creed. And so here it is. Promise yourself to be strong so that nothing can disturb your peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to everyone you meet, to make your friends feel that there is something in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you have for yourself, to forgive the mistakes of others and of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful encounter at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much to the improvement of yourself that you'd have no time to criticize others, and to be and to be too long from worry, too noble to anger, too strong for fear, and to happily embrace all activities. And so, in my mind, what this sets for us in this time is it's an eloquent little poem. You can pick verses from it that says, I have the ability to affect my future by the way I interpret it and by the way I interact with it. We've all experienced, if you smile, someone smiles back 85 to 90% of the time. And so that's how we have to engage life, with the optimistic approach, not some magical fairy tale, but an optimistic approach, understanding the process of life, that we have to fully engage life because life has all of the information and all of the things we need. It's the last thing is it's like a plant when we are seed, when we plant it. All the things it needs are in the soil, but it has to open up to allow that environment to support it and allow it to grow. And that's the kind of situation we're in now. And I think by living this optimist creed, we will be better today and even greater tomorrow. And so go ahead, Teresa.
I was just going to say, thank you, all wise ones. This was a beautiful question and answer session. I'm sure we will do it again, and I hope our audience has appreciated the answers.
And so as we just take this moment right now to encapsulate all of the ideas, all of the energy, all of the questions that have been put before us, and those that may not have been answered or may not have even been asked, we know that right here, right now, in the mind of God, that there is only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is our life right here, right now. And so as we engage this life and we engage the mind and heart and wisdom and understanding of the divine, we allow ourselves to open up to change, and for that change to move forward into transformation. Because you see, change oftentimes only deals with rearranging things or trying to reflect or move away something in the past. But transformation is a thing that allows us to look to the future, but stay in the present, to allow ourselves to be changed on the inside out and not try to arrange things on the outside to make us feel differently on the inside. Because that's how God works. It's an inside out job. It's a job that allows God's spirit to move through all things, all activities, all troubles, all joys, and create a situation, an idea, an understanding in our minds that allow us to overcome, to succeed, to move forward. And most of all, because we have knowledge of this understanding, we can do that with a smile. And so I know right here, right now, that each and every one that's on this call and those who may listen to this recording later will feel the presence of themselves in the loving arms of God that is guiding them and supporting them and leading them into a greater yet to be. And so as we just lean into that understanding, we give thanks. We give thanks for the opportunity, even though we may not like this opportunity of being in this situation with all of the goings on around us, and politically and health wise and race wise and all the different things that are bubbling up in our environments. But first and foremost, we give thanks because this gives us an opportunity to live our creed. It gives us an opportunity to rise to the occasion, to find out who we are, and as someone asked in the question, why we are here, to look inside and how can I better this situation? And so in that understanding and thanksgiving of we are here on divine purpose to serve humanity and be a representative of God, I release these words into the Lord, knowing that all is well, God is good, and we shall overcome. And so it is. Amen.
And so it's
Beautiful.
Thank you, Reverend Elzia. That was just such a powerful prayer. I really appreciate it. And I just want to let you all know how much we so miss you and would love to see you as soon as we can. And so, like we've said in previous weeks, we are so grateful for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent, and especially during this time. And so whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community participant, we want to thank you for your continuing financial support of this important work. And so just know that we are so appreciate all that you give, and thank you very much. And as we've mentioned, there are several ways that you can support, send your support. You can send it by cell phone via text to 844-454-0918, and then you type the word give and then the number, the dollar amount. So it would just be give 20 whatever. And then you can also go to our website, www.csldenver.org, and there you will see a donate button in the upper right-hand corner. And you can always send check or money order to our P.O. Box at P.O. Box 300416, Denver, Colorado 80203, in care of Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. And we are just so grateful for all that you are choosing to share with us. And you can also give through King Supers and Amazon by shopping there, and we get a certain percentage of the proceeds. So that's very, very helpful with us. And so if you will hold your gift in your hand and just know Know this in your heart and repeat our affirmation that we always love to say. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. And one more quick thing is Susan Clark is going to be our musical guest next week. So join us and you'll get to hear Susan again. And now for some in-service announcements. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic week. We love you all and miss you all.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. When the production guy forgets to unmute himself. Thank you so much for being with us here today, folks. We just wanted to say thank you one more time. And if you like what you saw here, share it with a friend. We'd also like to know more on what you like about our Sunday service and maybe what you'd like to see changed a little bit about our Sunday service. So send your comments, send your feedback, info@csldenver.org. Until next week, please join us for another round with Freddie. And this is called We Have Wisdom. Enjoy.